Buddhism is an ancient tradition with answers to life's biggest questions today. Why do we suffer? How do we relate to other beings? And how do we make the world a happier and more peaceful place for everyone? Our mission at BDK America is to help people understand Buddhism better. Are you looking to start learning about Buddhism or dig deeper? BDK America offers free books and videos for peoples of all ages and levels. Our most popular book, The Teaching of Buddha, is available to read in English and 46 other languages in physical, PDF, and audiobook formats. Visit our website for our latest publications and order your own free copy today.
Hello. We're especially glad that you've joined us for our final show. We would like to conclude by pointing out some of the distinctive teachings of Buddhism that can help to address the problems and challenges that lie before us, as reflected in the title of our program series, Mutually Sustaining Life, A Call to a Troubled World. For this purpose, I have invited a guest whose studies make him eminently qualified to provide us with a valuable perspective. Dr. Sengaku Maeda, Professor Emeritus of Tokyo University, as well as Musashino University in Japan. His area of expertise is in Indian philosophy and Buddhist thought. Dr. Maeda has traveled widely and has lectured and taught in several countries. It's a great honor to have this distinguished scholar share his thoughts, focusing on the distinctive qualities of Buddhism. Plus, it's an extra pleasure for me since Dr. Maeda was one of my professors in graduate school a few years ago. Okay, some 30 years ago. Hard to imagine it was that long ago. Well, Dr. Maeda, welcome to our show and thank you for being with us.
It's my pleasure.
In my introduction, I mentioned that you had taught in several countries, and I was wondering, where did you teach the longest?
I was in India for some time, but I taught the longest at the University of Pennsylvania. It was for 3 years in the mid-1960s.
I see. Now, I know in those days in the U.S., there are far fewer courses on Asian religions than today.
Yes, that's true. It's hard to believe how the interest in Asian religions has grown in America,
sure
especially in Buddhism.
Mm-hmm. Now, since Buddhism emerged in India, it shares some teachings with Hinduism, such as idea of karma, reincarnation, enlightenment. However, I'm wondering what distinguishes Buddhism from Hinduism? Can you give one example?
If I need to choose just one, I would have to say non-attachment to the self, or what you consider your own, anatman in Sanskrit.
Mm-hmm. Can you give us an example of what you mean by non-attachment to the self?
It means not to be attached even to the Buddhist teaching itself.
But shouldn't Buddhists consider their teachings very important?
Yes, of course, it's important. But once you have attained some level of awakening, you should no longer be attached to it.
I see. So, can you explain that a little more?
Yes, there is a famous Buddhist metaphor of the raft. The teaching is like a raft to get you from this shore to the other shore. You rely on the raft to get to the other shore, but once you land on the other shore, you must let go of it. It would be foolish of you if you carried the raft on your head as you walked to your destination, just because you liked it so much. That would be an attachment to the self, or what you consider your own.
I see, I see. Well, I really think that the image of the raft is pretty clever and effective. And actually, it would be pretty awkward and quite heavy burden, wouldn't it? And so how can this apply to our daily life?
It means not to be so attached to Buddhism, to think that Buddhism is the only true religion for everyone. For me, Buddhism is the best, but I cannot speak for everyone.
And that's a very important and critical point for people in the world to get along. Anything else?
Also, when you are not attached to yourself or what you consider your own, then you would be able to see beyond yourself. You would be able to put yourself in the shoes of another person. This is compassion, the real heart of Buddhism.
I see. Compassion, yes. So speaking of Buddhism, why did Buddhism become a world religion while Hinduism remained largely a religion for the Indians?
Buddhism is Hinduism for export.
Hinduism for export. I never heard that term before. That's an interesting way of putting it. And what made it exportable then?
I believe it was largely because Buddhists opposed the caste system. This meant that the teaching was available to everyone.
I see. That reminds me of a famous word by the Buddha to the effect that worth of a person is determined by not by one's birth, but by one's deeds. And so what message does Buddhism provide to the call to the troubled world? That is the subtitle of our program.
I believe that the two teachings we talked about can be an important asset.
So you mean non-attachment to the self as seen even in regard to the Buddhist teaching itself, and also the non-discrimination in the abandonment of the caste system. Are those the two that you're referring to?
Yes, especially the first is distinct, if not unique, to Buddhism.
Yes.
And please do not forget about compassion for others that arises from that too.
And yes, I think that's a very important point, compassion. And compassion is very important, but also the point you brought up earlier about not being attached to even one's own teaching. And I really think that's a very radical position that, although very radical, it can be a moderating influence on relationship between different religions. Well, Dr. Maeda, thank you so very much for being with us to share your thoughts, and especially on the distinctive qualities and teachings of Buddhism and how it can contribute to the problems of the world.
It was a pleasure to be here, especially with my former student, Ken.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that very much. Really great to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to offer some closing thoughts within the framework of the title of our program series, Mutually Sustaining Life, A Call to a Troubled World. Many things are disconcerting in our world, such as the constant fear of terrorism. I believe that no amount of stringent security will prevent terrorist acts unless we address the underlying greed, hatred, and ignorance that stem from the social and economic inequities among people and nations. And religions can play a greater role in this. However, as we discussed in an earlier show, the attitude of superiority and exclusion is rampant among many people in all religions and denominations, including Buddhism. This has prevented religions from interacting meaningfully to make any significant difference. I believe, however, that the Buddhist teaching of non-attachment, cited by Dr. Maeda, can serve as a moderating influence in a world where religions and nations are at odds based on unyielding positions of good and evil. These rigid attitudes are based on attachment to self or what you consider your own. Therefore, the Buddhist teaching of non-attachment can foster an outlook in which one's own religion is affirmed as most precious for that person, yet not regarded as the only true way or the right way for everyone. I feel that we have adequately conveyed the Buddhist teaching of interdependence to show that our lives, our communities, and our world are mutually sustaining. No one person or one community or one country can survive on its own. This realization of our connectedness should foster a greater understanding of the intrinsic value of others and encourage us to work together even when the differences seem insurmountable. This outlook is none other than the expression of compassion that Dr. Maeda spoke of. And this mutually sustaining nature of our existence refers also to humanity's relationship with the environment. I believe that the Buddhist understanding serves as an important reminder of the urgent need to radically change the way we relate to the environment. We can no longer afford to let our planet Earth deteriorate any further. As we conclude, all of us sincerely hope that you, the viewers, were able to gain something meaningful to be applied to your lives. This series has been an extremely challenging task, and at times I wasn't sure if I could be ready for some shows. Yet, remarkably, when such difficulties arose, I felt the guidance and strength of a spiritual force that did not come from me, but rather from a source beyond me. I'd like you to keep in mind that while life is indeed a bumpy road, with our sincere effort, we can all awaken to the shining jewel within us, as well as to those jewels that surround and embrace us. When you do so, you will find that, yes, life is indeed great. Your happiness is in your hands, as proclaimed by the Buddha in today's sacred passage. If one speaks or acts with a pure mind, happiness follows him like the shadow that never leaves him. Best wishes to you all.
We at Bukkyo Dendo Kyokai pursue peace and happiness for people around the world. We have published the Buddhist teachings into 41 languages and donated our publication to hotels and other facilities in 55 countries. We would like to share the Buddhist teachings with people around the world. That's our mission. Visit our website for more information.